Hello, everyone, and welcome into another episode of the Big Blue News Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Beasmore, and of course, got the co-host with me, Nolan Fleming. How are you doing, man?
Tired.
Aren't
That's
we all?
about it. Had an exam this morning.
Oh, how did the exam go?
That was pretty good.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm grateful about not being in college anymore. Don't have any exams, don't have to do homework on Sundays, so it's always so great. I'm tired as well. Gotta love working overnight, but so be it. We have a jam-packed episode. We're going to be previewing UK versus Akron, along with the free Big Z bro as well. And then we'll talk about TJ Besner, also accepting a job at UNC. So let's get into the podcast. UK versus Akron. UK should be able to win this game right now. They are currently a 26.5-point favorite according to Vegas. So what do you take, the over or under on that, man?
Under.
Under.
Currently, I would take the under. But do not take my advice on betting. I have not done it. There's no reason to take my advice on it. But my gut right now feels like I think we'll win at most by about 21.
21.
I
Yeah,
think 17 is the median right there at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, last week, or not last week, I mean, the last episode, I said UK should win by 40 plus, against Akron. I don't think that will happen. I would say also with you, I would agree, go with the under on that. But I'm excited to see what the quarterback Devin Leary can do this upcoming game. He's shown out in the past two games in the second half, and that's what he needs to continue to do as well. I know he's struggled in the first half, but also the receivers, they have also struggled to make catches as well. And I saw a stat. Let me pull it up. I should have already had it pulled up, but I saw a stat this morning and I could not believe it. Give me 1 second. The stat is the wide receivers, they have dropped 14.49% of Devin Leary's balls. So basically, if the wide receiver has caught it with their hands, they drop 14.49% of the passes, bro.
Yeah, not good. Pause though, by the way, dropping Devin Leary's balls,
Pause.
but yeah, no, you gotta be better than that. We talked about it the other day, though. I'm not gonna stay on it too long because we talked about Dan Key. Dan Key's gotta be better at
Yeah.
catching. He's not very good right now at catching the ball. That was a problem last year, and it looked like it's gonna continue to be a problem.
Yeah, and it could be potentially a sophomore slump. Also, another thing for Devin Leary, he hasn't been able to throw the ball deep at all. Every time he's tried to do that, it's been either a misconnection. Huh?
Yeah, he's not done it well. When he throws deep, he misses bad.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Yeah, he either doesn't have the right route with the wide receiver, it feels like, or he underthrows it, in my opinion, to the wide receiver if it does happen. Along with that stat, it's the wide receivers. The wide receivers have also dropped 131 yards that Devin Leary could have. So I know, man. Could you imagine having 130 more yards already to your stats? But sadly, your wide receivers can't catch the ball. And like I said, he's done pretty well. In that second half, he threw for 3 or 4 touchdowns this past Saturday against EKU, and yeah, I think he threw for 3, and then he had that one right before the second half. So right now, his stats, he has 540 yards through the first 2 games of the year, 5 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, and of course that 1 interception last game against EKU wasn't the best. It wasn't really his fault.
It was really his fault. Yeah, that was the line, I thought.
Yeah, for sure, but he's doing all right, averaging 270 yards per game, and a lot of people have a lot of hate for him right now. Not hate, I would say, but I would say they aren't very confident in him. But in my opinion, if the wide receivers can actually start catching the football whenever they get thrown to them, we'll be fine. And I think UK, they should easily win against Akron. I would say I hope they don't trail at all this upcoming game. I'm hoping if they do trail, it's only at the very beginning of the game. They allow a touchdown, on the first drive against Akron.
Field goal even would be nice. Just a field goal.
Yeah.
I didn't like that in the Eastern game where we were down like the whole first half. Like that was not fun.
Yeah, it was not for sure. But yeah, in my opinion, I think Devin Leary will actually have a big game against Akron. I think he's going to probably throw for 3 touchdowns, I would say. Let's go with 3 touchdowns, and he's going to have close to 300 yards. I'll say 280 against them, 290.
I think that's a good prediction.
I think, like I said, I think for UK to actually get their season going, I think Devin Leary needs a big game throughout the whole game, not in the second half only, but the first half as well.
That's like we talked about in the last episode. Like he has to put something together. They're not going to be as good as they want to be.
Yeah,
I do think that this is the week. If he's going to, this is going to be the week.
yeah,
Because next week we get into conference play and we do not look back after that.
yeah.
It's just Vanderbilt, whatever. We lost Vanderbilt last year,
We
but
should have.
no, but and then right after that it's Florida, then Georgia, and then it just doesn't get easier.
Yeah, it doesn't get easier.
So this is the week he's going to have to put one together, and I have confidence in him. I think he might. I actually would be more willing to say that he will, because he just looked he looked really promising in the second half
Against EKU for sure. Another player that I think will have a big game, and he's been having big games, is Ray Davis, of course. I mean,
that's who I'm going to take as my MVP.
Your MVP for the game, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say he'll probably be MVP again for the third week in a row. But Devin Leary, he needs a big game. But I think Ray Davis, he's just going to continue to be a great running back for Kentucky, and he's been so far a solid replacement for Chris Rodriguez. Obviously, it's been against non-Power 5 schools, but
different offense too.
Yeah, different offense too. But from what we've seen through the first 2 games, he's been probably the best player on the offense, I would say.
Yeah, and he fills that role well as a wide receiver who can catch. He had a touchdown, he had a receiving touchdown against Eastern that looked really, really nice.
Yeah.
He's good at that, and this is obviously an offense. I think that they're going to air it out a lot. It's pretty evident that I know we for some reason all of a sudden want to run the football all the time when we were complaining about not throwing it enough. But actually, I like the offense. I like the air it out offense personally.
Yeah. I like the air out offense. And speaking of that, Liam Cohen did talk to the media yesterday, and he did say that he would be calling plays on Saturday. So more than likely he'll be on the sidelines. Obviously, he could have a chance to be up in the press box, but I don't think that will happen. He's always been on the sidelines, and I don't think that will change. Obviously, he just got out of the hospital the other day, and I'm glad he's fully healthy and back with the team currently.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm glad everything is okay. I'm glad that he is healthy enough to coach. That's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah. As for Liam Cohen, he told the media the other day the main reason why he was sent to the hospital. Obviously, I don't know if he collapsed or anything. He didn't say that, of course, but he said the main reason why he was sent to the hospital was due to him not getting enough sleep and also not eating healthy enough as well. So,
right.
Obviously getting older, you have to take care of your health. I'm only 24 and I'm already experiencing high cholesterol, so I definitely have to start eating healthier.
Get away from the McDonald's every now and then, dude.
Yeah, gotta get away from the McDonald's and Chick-fil-A, but yeah, definitely.
Which one are you addicted to? If you're addicted to a fast food restaurant, what is it?
It's probably Chick-fil-A, honestly, even though it's so expensive.
I can't do Chick-fil-A. It's not because it's bad. I'm trying to stay off the fast food just because, and like work out more. And I have done okay at that. But the dining halls in college kind of hurt you too.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. But yeah, I just went to Chick-fil-A before this podcast. Actually, spent $9, there. So
$9 on some chicken nuggets. Good night.
Chicken nuggets, waffle fries, and a good old Coke. But yeah, obviously,
Cookout's underrated. I will say, Cookout's great.
Yeah, Cookout is underrated, but obviously, I'm happy Liam Cohen will definitely be back on Saturday. I'm expecting Kentucky to have a great game, and hopefully they can have a full-out great game, obviously both on the offense and defense. And the one thing I do want to talk about real quick before we get into the other part of the podcast, I also want to talk about the defense. They need to improve on their third downs because
Bad.
they allowed EKU so many third down conversions, and I'm like, when will this stop?
One in particular had me ready to jump onto the field, like when they just dumped it off to a running back or whatever, and he went for 39 yards. Like that's ridiculous. Like they just let him go right under coverage. Like it was just not good. But speaking of defense, Chris, how about the Smith twins?
Oh yeah, the Smith twins.
Talk about that.
They more than likely they have an announcement on Friday coming, and potentially they could be flipping their commitment to Kentucky potentially.
Heavy emphasis on potentially, even though I will admit, whose Twitter account was it that posted that there was going to be some commitments within the next week from some high caliber players?
Oh, who was that? I wonder. I don't think it was Nolan at all, man.
Who was it? I'm not saying that it like is a absolute thing. I expect it. I think you expect it too. I think it's fair enough. I think everyone expects it.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard other names too that might be committing. You know who I'm talking about. We've talked about it, but
On the private.
we'll keep that.
Do you
We'll
want
keep
to air it out to the public?
No, is I'm not totally confident in one of them. One of them's Brian Robinson. Okay, we'll get that out of the way.
Yeah.
Kentucky might actually be heating up for him.
Yeah.
I know we've heard that. I don't know if I think that that's true because I tend to trust a certain source quite a bit.
Yeah,
But,
we know the source.
when you know the source is pretty much right all the time.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
No, I'm not. But shout out source. Anyway, I think the Smith twins, if they make an announcement, that would be great. I would love to have them here. I think they would be very good.
Mm-hmm.
I think they are very good. They're both top 200 players.
Yeah.
And 4-star they're 5-star caliber talent. That's a 4-star in my opinion, from what I've seen of them.
Yeah, you're not wrong, but yeah, I'm so ready to see if the Smith twins, if they flip their commitment on Friday. I would love it. Obviously they're playing currently right now at Corbin, and they've been showing out this past year. And yesterday I saw somebody comment on my fan page account that I run and everything saying, are they from Kentucky? And then somebody was like, no, they just moved here to Kentucky. I'm like, no, they are from Kentucky.
They are from Kentucky.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you thinking?
That's why I know when they transferred to Corbin, I think everyone thought Kentucky was happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it is probably.
More than likely. Yeah.
It is more than likely going to happen. I say this and now they'll go to Ohio State. I know that's the one that everyone was concerned about. But I expect Kentucky. If it doesn't happen, oh well. If it does, it's gonna be a major get for the recruitment class.
I agree.
Our class will definitely jump in the top 25.
Yeah, I think if we get the twins, I think it just jumps our recruitment. I think a lot more players will either start flipping their commitment or actually start committing to Kentucky, and they'll actually start getting the class rolling. Obviously, most players sign in December, getting the early signing day for National Signing Day. So if UK can get the twins to flip, I think that's whenever UK's class of 2024 will actually start, gaining momentum.
Yeah, and Devin Smith is another one that we've heard is going to probably commit very soon.
Yeah.
I think he would be great here as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's isn't he a 4-star or a 3-star? He's a high 3-star, I think.
Yeah. Devin Smith, he is supposed to announce his commitment September 22nd, so next Friday. Yeah, next Friday.
So, I think we'll get him.
Yeah, I think we'll get him as well.
I feel very confident that we're going to get him. I know I'm like 3 or 4 or whatever with like scoop on that. Darn Jason Patterson, great guy. No hate on him. He's a great guy. But I think and if you get Brian Robinson, then the recruiting class is like a monster class almost, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. For sure. I mean, Brian Robinson, I know I tweeted out about a month or 2 months ago that he was waiting on committing to a school until he heard if Ohio State was going to ever offer him, but it's already in September. You're 3 months away from the National Signing Day, early National Signing Day. So if they haven't really offered by September, more than likely they're probably not going to offer, I would say.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think it's down to either us or Michigan right now, is who I think it is.
Yeah, I
I,
think so too.
I think that's the main concern is Michigan. And I think I'm not sure. I know I've said like I think he could be here. I'm the least confident on him by far
Mhm.
because there's not been a lot of signs that indicate it. I know he wore a shirt one time, but what does that mean? Like, people wear
Yeah.
shirts all the time. I wear shirts from college visits I went on. I didn't go to college there. Like
Yeah, I
I
hear
went
you.
on a college visit to, or not college visit, but I was given a shirt from Cumberland's, University of Cumberland's. After I got accepted there and all that, they sent me a shirt and package. I wear that shirt around campus here all the time. I obviously do not go to the University of Cumberland.
Why
So
not, bro?
no hate on them. I just don't. But I'm just saying people wear shirts, just people wear shirts.
Yeah.
People do
Um, some breaking news that I want to bring to y'all. It's not really that breaking news, but UK, they officially announced that Big Blue Madness is back. It will be taking place at Rupp Arena on October 13th, and tickets will be available starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on September 29th on Ticketmaster. So that's some great news if you are a big UK fan and you love going to Big Blue Madness. You know, I've gone the past couple of years. I really enjoyed it. I remember one year I actually met Drake, and that was so crazy.
You met Drake.
I did meet Drake. This was my sophomore year of high school, so it's been like 8 years. I went up to him though. I patting him on his shoulder, and I was like, Drake, could you sign my ticket for me? And he signed my Big Blue Madness ticket. I still have it.
Dude,
Maybe the next podcast episode I'll bring that out for y'all to see. But I still have that ticket, and then Carl Anthony Towns signed the other back of it. So I have like two signatures on the ticket from that
how did
night.
you
But
meet him?
sadly I didn't get a chance to ask him for a selfie. I was about to ask him for a selfie that night. And then he was like, I'll be back, you all. I'm going to the locker room talking to the players and coaches, and everything. And then he never came back. So sadly, didn't get a selfie with
You
him.
think he'll be there this year?
Uh, I don't know. I don't think he will. I think he'll probably be too busy with his tour because, I'm
Oh yeah, he
seeing
will
him.
be on tour by then.
Yeah, I'm still seeing him in like 2 weeks, hopefully, as long as everything works out. I'm planning
Where's
to,
he? Is he in Nashville?
yeah, Nashville. So I'm
I thought
planning.
about going to that, but obviously, like that's a lot of money. But
Hey, Nolan, you trying to go, bro?
nah, probably not now.
Just missed class on Monday. Since
No, yep,
it's
not
on
doing it.
Sunday. Yeah,
Not
but
doing it. That's a
man,
dangerous game.
it's never a dangerous game. You can
It's
skip
always
one class.
dangerous.
You're fine.
Uh,
But
Big Blue Madness? I'll go to that. Sounds
yeah,
fun.
I'm ready for Big Blue Madness. I went there last year. A lot of fun. Really enjoyed it. But yeah, I want to just talk a little bit more though. I know we were going to talk about DJ Besner also
DJ
announced.
Beasmore,
Yeah, Beisner. He is going to
great kid.
UNC. I know back in like May, Kyle Tucker of the Athletic reported that he was leaving, but nobody knew where he was leaving to at the time. Everybody was just saying he's leaving back in May. He was going to stay till the roster was completed, and finally the roster was finally completed, and now he's leaving to go to UNC. And the main reason why he's leaving is due to his son living in North Carolina and he wants to be closer to him, which I understand completely, but it also sucks to lose like your NIL manager, like CEO of NIL.
Yeah, I agree. I think they'll be fine. I
Yeah.
think they'll be fine. And that's not trying to downplay TJ Beisner. I've never met him. I know people who have met him and I've heard nothing but great things about him. And so I'm just gonna roll with that. Him leaving for family purposes is honestly admirable.
Mhm.
Priorities. You have
Yeah.
your priorities in life, and they're not necessarily which team you root for.
Mhm.
Sometimes.
Yeah, he's always been a UK fan his whole life. I mean, he wrote articles for KSR growing up,
Oh yeah.
basically. Yeah.
And so there's a lot more there's more to that decision. I respect that. That's pretty much all I really think about that and all I really have to say.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how UNC does after. I mean, they lost a couple of their players. I mean, they lost Caleb Love this past year. He went to Michigan, committed there, and then obviously, sadly, due to grades or whatever, he had to decommit from there. But it'll be interesting to see what UNC does with NIL, and hopefully UK they can find another person to take over the NIL during basketball season, because it is important. NIL is like the new main thing, and obviously with what John Calipari now has with the La Familia Club, I think that will take care of business with former players helping to donate to that club, and then hopefully it'll get players, recruits to eventually commit to Kentucky.
Yeah, I think NIL is going to be fine. Honestly, obviously I don't have any like hunch or anything, but I do think that it's going to be fine. I think people don't need to overreact about it too bad.
Yeah, I think it's gotten a lot better since, Matt Jones of KSR and fans have gone after the university. Sadly, it has not helped out so far with freeing Big Z, Zvonimir Ivisic, and I have not heard any good news this past week about him
Me neither.
committing.
Everything I've heard has been strictly negative.
Yep. And I don't know if y'all watched the Sources Say podcast with Jack Pilgrim, but they had a podcast episode with Travis Branham of 24/7 Sports. He was also on there as a guest for the episode, and they talked a little bit about the whole situation. And basically, Travis Branham said if he thinks here's what he said directly. To be honest, I'm not banking on him being on this roster next year. I think it's a very long shot bet. So basically, what he just said the other day does not sound promising at all.
Yeah, and I've also heard that no news is bad news. So I don't bank on it. I'm like I don't bet on it at all. It would shock me. I know very little about it. I know we know a certain thing that we're not gonna talk about, but it is what it is. I don't think it's a good look.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty terrible one. We will not be able to get international players here for a long time. You remember I said that, by the way, Chris.
Yeah, you're not
It
wrong.
won't happen. It's a terrible look. They'll all go to Duke now.
We'll go to Duke.
I think the fact that the university allowed as many people as it did into its freshman class and as many transfers as it did, and that they won't let him in because of a single portion of an English test.
Yeah.
Not a good look. That's all I gotta say. Thanks for letting me go to college here, by the way, guys. But no, not great.
Yeah, I think the craziest part is whenever he committed to Kentucky and everything, obviously he didn't sign his national letter of intent until like a week later or whatever. But once he finally did, obviously Kentucky men's basketball posted the video of him actually, finally signing his letter of intent. And basically once that happened, everybody thought it was a done deal. He's going to get to campus, very soon.
Exactly. That's what's crazy is because even me and you had heard that he was going to get to campus as soon as they could get him here.
Yeah.
And here we are in September, and obviously he's not here yet.
A month into classes.
A month into classes, last day I hadn't dropped a class has been gone for a while.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I hate it. His recruitment, I'm gonna have a sentimental attachment to because it's the first thing that I have really like gotten the opportunity to report on.
Report cover.
Big emphasis. Yeah, but cover. So it did help. It definitely helped me out a lot in that aspect of things. But I wish he would be here. I think he'd be a good player here. I think he would, but it is what it is. Admissions is admissions. Can't do anything about it except get mad.
Yeah. And Travis Branham also reported on the Sources Say podcast saying his other option that he's trying to get into another school would be DePaul, and I feel like DePaul would be more challenging.
Dwayne Peavy's going to take Ivisic from us.
Oh yeah. Let's see, what is DePaul's acceptance rates? Let's look it up real quick. 69.4%.
What's
So
the acceptance rate there?
69.4%. So
They have a
what?
lower acceptance rate than here, and they'll let him in.
Oh yeah, I don't think that will happen. Travis was saying on the podcast that he thinks it would be harder for Zvonimir Ivisic to get into DePaul than it is currently right now at
Paul's a
UK.
relatively prestigious school too,
Yeah,
and so there's more. I still don't understand why we think we're Yale here doing
Where-
this thing. But like I said, it is what it is. Admissions is admissions. I don't know anything about admissions, so I can't say anything.
yeah. I just want to know like what the holdup is. Like, why hasn't Zvonimir, announced that he's decommitting or what? My only best thing solution for UK could do is he gets enrolled some way somehow in the spring semester. Who knows if he even plays at UK if he gets enrolled, because John Calipari hates to play players if they enroll in the spring.
Aiden Sharp.
Yeah, Shaden Sharp, Hamidou Diallo, he
Nope.
enrolled in the spring as well. Didn't play. Obviously, he played, the following
Oscar
year.
Sheboy.
Oscar Shigwe as well. Yeah, that's another example. Yeah. Even though they do practice with the team, they never actually play in. That's the most, I think, sucky part. I'm like, if he
I
does
agree.
if he does enroll in the spring, which I'd highly doubt this will happen. Obviously, this is like best, best luck for Kentucky. Is if he enrolls in the spring, would he even play? That's my next question. Well,
Yeah, I agree. I just think I don't think he's going to be here ever. I just think that's where I'm at with it.
yeah, I
I
agree
don't.
with you on that. What was that reaction? Was there some breaking news?
Yeah, breaking news that is not related to uh Kentucky sports. But hang on, let me get it back pulled up here. I want to see something else because it's kind of crazy. Hunter Biden has been indicted on felony gun charges.
Well,
That's all I'm gonna say. We're not gonna get political on here. I don't want to. I
yeah,
have
you
I
might
couldn't
want
have
to
less
cut that out.
interest. It's just related to my major. So that's it.
Yeah, he's what are you like a Paul?
We'll talk about that later. I don't really want to give that out.
Oh, why not, bro?
Just privacy. I want to keep some privacy.
Oh man, but everybody can find you on social media though, man.
Yeah, but I don't tell you what my major is.
Oh, what's my major, man?
I'm gonna assume journalism and broadcasting.
Yeah, it was good old broadcasting whenever I was in school. I obviously already graduated from WKU. Graduated back in May of 21, so been forever, man.
Yeah, but either way, that is interesting. Anyway, we'll talk. We're not gonna talk about that.
Yeah, let's
We
not
got
talk about that. No politics here.
no,
Obviously,
no,
this is
no, not
strictly,
allowed at all. It's
yeah,
just news. But
yeah.
anyway,
This is
uh,
strictly Kentucky sports, and then obviously we might talk about other sports in the free time if we have some time to do it. But yeah, it's going to be interesting just to see how this Kentucky basketball season unfolds, because I'm
yeah,
still
because I
not
have no idea.
I'm still not sold on our big men. I think we need one more big man. Obviously, Zvonimir Ivisic would have been the one more big man, but I'm
Yep.
not sold on Trey Mitchell, Aaron Bradshaw, and Ugon Oyen. So even with right now, two of them being injured, with them being fully healthy, I'm just not sold. Obviously, you can move Adu Thiero to the four potentially as well.
I'm still not sold on that either.
Yeah,
He struggled. He
that's
struggled with that position.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. That's why I thought adding Zvonimir would have been perfect. He would have been the final piece to the roster. Another option that they talked about on sources say was Santo Cyril reclassifying to
Yeah,
23, but I don't
too
think that
late.
happens. Also, I think he's just going to stay in high school, which I understand, but it's good to have at least one player right now committed in the class of 2024 for Kentucky basketball.
Yeah, Ivisic would have rounded out the roster.
Yeah,
And now there's going to be a gaping hole in there.
yeah.
If Aaron Bradshaw comes back, I think he is. I mean, I have no reason to think he's not.
I think he will too. It's just figuring out if he'll be fully healthy though this year.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the only reason I say if. I don't say if because I think he's not going to play.
yeah,
But I don't think he needs to be the four. He needs to play five. He's just going
yeah,
to have to.
I
Uh,
agree with you on that.
there's no reason for him to play the four. Because now all of a sudden you only have one big. You have
Yeah.
one guy who can play the 5, and that'd be Ugo. And you definitely don't need to just have one guy playing the 5 and get him worn down, and then also have his backup worn down. Like that's just
Yeah.
not a good idea.
Yeah, that's why I was saying that's the only position I'm just really like stressing about. I mean, last year everybody was stressing about that we didn't have enough guards on the roster.
Oh,
And
we're good on the cards.
yeah, we're good on guards this year. It's now having a big man. And honestly, I think this could be the downfall of this year's team. I'm not obviously trying to get sad and depressed, but I
I'm not
just
either.
I'm just nervous about the big man position. But we can talk about that in another podcast. Let's finish up the podcast though, and let's give everybody our final score prediction between UK and Akron. Obviously, we both said that UK would be under the point spread. Right now it's 26.5 for UK, so they're 26.5 favorites against Akron currently, and I think we both agree it'll be under, but let's give out a score prediction.
I'm gonna say 38-21.
38-21. Dang, bro, that's like 17. I'll say it's going to be close to the 25.5, and I'd say UK probably wins by 24. I'll say. Let's go by 24 points. So let's say like 41 to like 17. I think that's 24, right?
Yeah, that's 24. That'd be accurate. I think that's a good one.
Yeah, so let's go 41 to 17 UK. They'll allow 2 touchdowns and a field goal against Akron, and so be it. UK will, I think, not cover the spread, and hopefully we're both wrong and they win by
I
more
hope
than
that I
26.
hope they cover. I hope that they really need a blowout this week. I think
I agree too.
Akron is a better team though than Eastern.
You think so?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the main thing is UK, they have to get better on their third down conversions on both the offense and defense. I think EKU, I think I just saw the stat that they went 6 for 12 against UK on third down conversions. So that's 50%. That can't happen this week against Akron and going forward. So obviously it'll be interesting to see what happens. But we gave you all our score prediction. One more thing, who's going to be the MVP? I'm pretty sure you said Ray Davis earlier.
I think
Is
Ray
that
Davis.
still going to be your
I'm
prediction?
just gonna say him just because you took Leary. I would have said him. But if I have to pick a defensive player, it's gonna be JJ Weaver.
Yeah, I'm going with on the offense side. I'll stay with Devin Leary as my prediction. I think he'll finally have a big game.
I think that's a good one.
He'll piece the full game together. Finally, won't have a great first half. He'll have a great first and second half. And then probably on the defensive side, I'm going with Trevin Wallace. I would say he had a big game against EKU, and I think he'll continue that going
Hey, we
to.
should also say that post game we're gonna do a Twitter space.
More than likely, obviously, there's not great service at Kroger Field, but we'll potentially try to do that.
Might not necessarily be at Kroger Field. I'll probably just do it from here. But we're gonna try to do that. If it doesn't happen, if it does happen, great. You should listen to it.
Yeah. Yeah, you all definitely should listen to that on Twitter. If we do it on Saturday, it's going to be a busy weekend. I know we're celebrating my dad's birthday a little bit early this weekend. I think his birthday is on Tuesday, but we're going to celebrate this week.
I'm going to Louisville this weekend, visit some family.
Yeah.
Just for Saturday, like part of Saturday. Then I'm going to the game that Saturday night.
Yeah, I think right now my parents and I were planning on going to the game on Saturday together as a family to celebrate my dad's birthday a little bit early. Obviously, his birthday is on Tuesday. I just looked, so happy early birthday to him. But excited to celebrate with him this weekend and excited to see this Kentucky game. And hopefully UK wins by more than 26.5 points.
Agree.
Obviously.
That's all I have. So I'm gonna leave now because I have to. But
Yeah.
Stay sober, go big blue, have fun, not too much fun, I guess. I don't know. I think it'll be a good weekend.
Yeah, I think so too. Thank you all for listening to this podcast. Obviously, watching on YouTube or listening on Apple Podcast and Spotify. We appreciate you all, and let's continue the momentum. And we might do something this Saturday that we were planning this past weekend. We'll see though.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you all for watching. This is Chris Beasmore signing out.